Hello everyone, this short video will be about the topic of media literacy. It will provide you with the appropriate tools to develop a critical perspective towards advertisements. It will use the example of Suit Supply, whose advertisements are known for their controversiality. We are Anne, Hugo and Caroline. Here you see a quick overview of what we're going to talk about.
Media literacy is the practice of accessing and critically evaluating media. According to Leaning, media literacy allows people to be creative and think critically about images, videos, languages, and sounds. People encounter hundreds of advertisements and commercials in their daily lives. Most people are not aware of encountering such a high amount of advertisements and the extent to which these advertisements shape their attitudes and behavior. That is the reason why it is important to be able to critically reflect on media and to be aware of the extent to which you are exposed to media in your daily life.
We will now apply this concept of media literacy to the campaign of Suit Supply. The company is known for creating a lot of controversy through its marketing. Not only their more recent campaign has received a lot of critiques, also previous campaigns have generated equal responses. Examples will be provided in the next few slides. These are campaigns from 2010, 2011, 2014, 2016, and 2018. This is the image from the Suit Supply Summer Campaign 2018. On the next slide, you'll see the video from the campaign.
Now I need payback. Now I need payback. I want it all. I want it all. I want it now.
We will start analyzing this campaign on the basis of three concepts, namely semiotics, hegemony, and cost branding. Suit Supply normally targets the middle-class working man. However, this campaign for summer 2018 clearly also targets the homosexually oriented consumer. The signifiers are white and black men, men that are very muscular, men that are exhibiting masculine traits such as a six-pack, they are tall and they possess some form of power. However, they also have feminine characteristics, such as a feminine gaze and a feminine touch. This combination immediately awakens a sense of homosexuality, which is being signified. What's also being signified at a deeper level are the gay rights. Also, for the first time, there are no women present in the campaign, whereas before, in previous advertisements, women's bodies were objectified. This campaign actually excludes them from the video as well as from the targeted customer segment. And black people are included in the video. In previous advertisements, Suit Supply chose to use the sensuality between a man and a woman in their advertisements. In these advertisements, most often the men wearing suits were dominant over the woman in the advertisement. This reflects the cultural hegemony, which can be defined as the domination of a particular ideology. As Antonio Gramsci says, the power of cultural hegemony lies in its invisibility. As cultural hegemony is present in our everyday lives, individuals conform to this force. In Suit Supply's campaign, cultural hegemony is visible through hegemonic masculinity. Hegemonic masculinity can be regarded as one of the ways by which the domination of men is legitimized, and by which women are subordinated as well as other subordinated masculinities. However, this campaign focuses on the creation of the same sort of sensuality that was present between a man and a woman, but then between a man and another man, which is commonly acknowledged as homosexuality. Since according to the ruling hegemonic masculinity, men are white, western, muscular, powerful and heterosexual, this campaign can partially be considered as a counter-hegemonic practice. Counter-hegemonic practices that attempt to critique or change the hegemonic power. It is counter-hegemonic since the men that are present in the video are muscular, but they also have feminine characteristics such as a feminine gaze and a feminine touch representing homosexuality, which is one of the subordinated masculinities. The advertisement is also counter-hegemonic regarding black masculinity, where black men are often depicted as being pimps, rappers or violent. It is counter-hegemonic since in the advertisement also black men are characterized as soft because of their feminine gazes and touches. Since advertisements like these are a big determinant of gender ideology, and men are continuously engaged in the creation and maintenance of their own identities, marketeers manipulate these formations through advertising, being able to change ruling hegemony. Nevertheless, in this campaign, Suit Supply does promote the stereotypical idea of a homosexual man by representing the models as very sexual and lacking stable relationships. Thereby, this campaign is only partially counter-hegemonic. The third concept in analyzing Suit Supply's campaign is cause branding. It can be defined as raising awareness, money, or consumer engagement through the implementation of societal or environmental issues in advertising. So, through ideological alliance between the corporate identity and its external messages, the brand is able to reach the audience's emotions. This implies that Suit Supply's corporate identity should share similar values as those represented in the campaign. As the campaign shows the stereotypical homosexuality is commodified. This strategy of cause branding implies that the message of homosexual awareness and gay rights, which Suit Supply spreads, should be combined with an active participation in gay rights movements.
Contradictory consequences. The campaign creates awareness of homosexual behavior, which is an example of cause branding. The models in the video are being portrayed in a positive way while interacting in homosexual behavior. Reasons for Suit Supply to target homosexual men might be that they form an interesting segment since often they have a relatively large spendable income and are interested in fashion. However, by portraying the men in this particular way in the video, it could be also stated that Suit Supply is commodifying homosexuality in this campaign. They use homosexual signs for commercial purposes rather than their political significance. This is a form of selectivism, the practice of supporting a political or social cause by means such as social media or online petitions, characterized as involving very little effort or commitment. The models in the campaign are all good looking, they wear expensive looking clothes and have a quite muscular physique. It could be argued that on a micro-meso level, videos and images like these could lead to self-esteem issues. Although all the men in the advertisement to some extent interact in homosexual behavior, they are not a good representation of the average homosexual man. Men who see this video might feel insecure because they think the men in the advertisement represent a standard to which they do not fit themselves. This is an example of the cultivation theory. Previous research has shown that based on the cultivation theory, it could be argued that through media representations of homosexual men, consumers' attitudes are cultivated concerning homosexuality. Alternatives and resistances. On one hand, one could say that the depiction of homosexuality in an ad of a mainstream brand leads to more awareness and acceptance of homosexuality. On the other hand, one could consider this ad to be a consequence of the pink economy and homo-capitalism. In contemporary neoliberal economy, corporations use big anti-homophobia projects to frame themselves as a modern and progressive. The intention of the ad was not acceptance of homosexuality, but simply the money this ad would eventually generate. Therefore, we could say that Suit Supply is performing pinkwashing. According to Rao, the practice of pinkwashing embodies corporations like Suit Supply labeling themselves as a progressive force while abusing the LGBT community. A market-based way to actually improve the acceptance of homosexuals would be a documentary film. A documentary film discussing the issues, rights and social movements the gay community deals with could increase understanding and acceptance for homosexuals in the mainstream audience. Good examples of documentary films about homosexuality are 15 episodes of the Tweedok documentaries of the Dutch television channel NPO 2. Through this advertisement, it seems like Suit Supply supports homosexual rights. According to Chadwick and Zip, private organizations should be wary of equating human rights and buying products. A reason for this is that most oftenly capitalism and activism don't go together that well. However, taking a closer look at the cause branding that Suit Supply is applying, their company's social responsibility policies don't mention anything on supporting the rights of homosexuals. Therefore, to improve, Suit Supply could donate to the Dutch Cultuur- en Ontspanningscentrum (COC) Foundation, since grassroots methods like education, activism and volunteering have bigger supporting impact on the LGBT community. The COC Foundation is an organization that supports gay rights in the Netherlands. A few examples of action of the COC Foundations are providing information about the LGBT for primary and secondary schools, pressure politicians to change laws that advocate LGBT rights, and they provide help for asylum seekers who are discriminated in their country of origin. Donating to the COC Foundation would be a non-market-based way to support issues the gay community still deals with in contemporary society. Conclusion. The ideal image of masculinity is changing. However, this advertisement still used hegemonic masculinity to represent men. In the campaign, homosexuality is commodified. The only homosexuals represented in this ad are young, good-looking men. This could lead to self-esteem issues for men watching the advertisement. Contemporary resistance is still relatively high. Advertising might be part of the solution. However, the company used the created controversy as a means for financial outcomes and not to support gay rights. In other words, selectivism. Suggested alternatives were including more diversity, a documentary film, and donating to the COC Foundation.